Good evening and welcome to the Nevis Newscast. Today is Tuesday, February 16th, 2016. I'm Donis Wilkinson Keynes. Today, February 16th, marks 1 year since the Team Unity was elected to government in St. Kitts and Nevis. Premier of Nevis, the Honorable Vance Amory, who is also a senior minister in the federal cabinet, issued a statement on the first anniversary.
I think the people of Nevis and the people of St. Kitts are clearly much easier. There is a certain degree of enthusiasm among them. The economic situation has improved. There are jobs being created. And I think our people are clearly much better off than they were a year ago. We can talk of the promises which have been kept or the commitments which have been made by the Team Unity government. And clearly one of those commitments, the reduction in VAT, to ensure that people have more money to spend because of reduction in VAT on food and medicines and those items which are essential items, has created more of a spending power among the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. I focus on that because the economy of St. Kitts and Nevis depends on consumer spending, and that level of spending will determine also the level of taxation. And you would reflect on what transpired on the VAT-free day or the VAT-reduced day in December, where there was a $41 million expended on that day on items. True, there were items of large ticket items, which meant that there is more money in the economy, and the government itself did not forego much a high level of taxation, which augurs well not just for the people, but also did not in any way was not in any way detrimental to the government itself. And we're now looking at this anniversary with having achieved some positive things, and we're looking for other positive things to occur during the course of the next year and for the full term of the Team Unity government.
A number of activities are being held under the theme Working Together to Ensure the People's Prosperity. Tomorrow, Wednesday, Premier Amory will join other leaders, Prime Minister Timothy Harris and Deputy Prime Minister Sean Richards, for the Leaders Edition of the Working For You radio program. The Department of Education earlier today accepted a donation of 2 school buses valued at more than $500,000. The significant ceremony took place at the TDC parking lot at Penny's.
These buses, they have a seating capacity of about 30. They're power steering, they're fully air conditioned. They've got a full audio system with a PA system which allows the driver to speak over a system which allows all the persons in the back and in the bus to be able to hear. They're a 4.2-liter diesel engine, and they have an automatic door which is controlled by the driver in the front. The door opens automatically when he press a button in the front, and it closes automatically with the pressing of that same button. These buses are valued somewhere at around $300,000. So what you're seeing in the back here is over $500,000 in vehicles that are going to be used by to transport our school children to and from school.
That was Managing Director of TDC Nevis, Ernie France, outlining the specifications of 2 buses which were delivered to the Ministry of Education. The Honorable Mark Brantley, who was also part of the handing over ceremony, stood in for the donors of the 2 coaster buses. He gave some background on how long the journey has been.
Many years ago, I encountered some individuals who had available to them considerable resources for purposes of education. And we have fought long and hard to try and get some of those resources for the benefit of the people of Nevis. I'm very happy that after a long time and after much toing and froing, we have been able to bring this day into being. It would not have been possible were it not for Wakely Daniel and his patience, because he knows, he's been dealing with it every day, that it's been a long and trying process. It would not have been possible were it not for the Premier and his leadership in relation to the Ministry of Education, and of course the PEO who's here with us again today. It would not have been possible were it not for TDC, and specifically Tony Nisbet, who worked with us and who, despite months and weeks sometimes of delay, stuck with the process.
Minister Brantley then handed the keys for the 2 buses to the Premier and Minister of Education, the Honourable Vance Amory.
We have to recognize that the $600,000 which has been spent, albeit from someone who is kind to Nevis, and I think I want to thank Minister Brantley for his instrumentality in making the contact for us and doing the negotiations, that somebody worked for this money, so it's not free. And there seems to have arisen in our people some thinking that things are free. Somebody has paid for this, and I want us here in Nevis, especially our children, our parents, and those who will use the buses, to recognize that it is it's for our benefit, and it is our responsibility to treat these buses with great care. And the more care we take of them, the longer we'll have the use of them. And I want this to reverberate in their minds, in their hearts, so that they recognize that there is a responsibility for them to care these 2 buses and the other buses which already have been donated or purchased by government.
The buses were then handed over to Principal Education Officer Palsy Wilkin. She expressed great appreciation and noted that the ministry takes care of students from preschool all the way up to 6th form, and the addition to the fleet is significant. The ceremony was chaired by Assistant Secretary in the Premier's Ministry, Kevin Barrett, and remarks were also delivered by Permanent Secretary Wakely Daniel. Trevor Gill, the Assistant Manager in TDC Automotive, also witnessed the ceremony. It is expected that the buses would be pressed into service immediately. The Department of Social Services, through its Gender Affairs Division, will on Thursday, February 18th, host the first in a series of sessions focused on retirement planning. Coordinator of the Gender Affairs Division, Lorraine Archibald, notes that the sessions are being conducted in collaboration with the Human Resources Department of the Nevis Island Administration.
It is important that we help to prepare persons for retirement. If we do not help people to prepare for retirement, and they do not have any money later on, since people are living longer due to modern medicine and technology, we would end up with problems. When we say problems, social problems. Not having enough money up to when you are 90 years is a problem. It will become a burden to the individual, the family, the community, the country, the federation as a whole. It will put strain on social services and social security as well.
The sessions will be done in 2 phases. The first will take place from February to March, when some 8 topics will be covered. The sessions will take place at the Nevis Cooperative Credit Union Conference Room with an opening ceremony on Thursday. Immediately following, 2 topics will be discussed.
The theme, retirement, a new beginning, be prepared. The goal of this program is to empower employees with knowledge to better understand the strategies necessary for a successful and smooth transition to retirement.
The topics include insurance, social security, entrepreneurship, banking and finance, as well as investment options.
Persons from the government and also non-governmental organizations, they are invited to these retirement seminars. I am hoping that the knowledge that persons gain, that they will put it into practice and prepare themselves for retirement.
The program is expected to be launched by Junior Minister of Social Development, the Honorable Hazel Brandy Williams. Still to come, Four Seasons Resort honors more than 40 employees. The details after this break.
Welcome to Nevis.
It's easy to believe that all Caribbean islands are the same until you visit Nevis.
Nevis is the Caribbean of a bygone era.
You will enjoy a most intimate vacation on Nevis. You're only a stranger here once.
We offer exclusive and barefoot luxury stays.
With only 400 hotel rooms, our island may be exclusive.
But the warm, genuine and friendly welcome is just everywhere.
We look forward to meeting you.
Visit nevisisland.com.
Welcome back. The Four Seasons Resort Nevis celebrated its 25th anniversary on Sunday, February 14, 2016. Last evening, some 41 employees were honored as part of the 25th anniversary celebrations. Deputy Premier and Minister of Tourism, the Honourable Mark Brantley, who was present at the ceremony, delivered brief remarks on behalf of Premier of Nevis, the Honourable Vance Amory.
Since the 19th day of September 1983, when St. Kitts and Nevis became independent, this day, when Four Seasons was opened 25 years ago, was perhaps the second biggest day in our recent history in St. Kitts and Nevis. I say that because I believe nothing, no single investment, no single event has had the impact on us as a people, on our culture, our economy, our society generally, as the opening of this institution, the Four Seasons Resort. I definitely would like, on behalf of the government and the people of Nevis, whom I represent in the absence of the Honourable Premier, to extend my warmest thank you and congratulations to those of you who are celebrating 25 years. For those of you who have contributed so much to this institution and by extension to the island of Nevis.
Regional Vice President of the Four Seasons Resort, Thierry Kennel, also delivered brief remarks.
One thing, we sat around one night, we had a glass of wine, we were reminiscing about Nevis, and we were all sharing stories. And you got Mark Halrong sharing his stories, you got Robert Woodfield sharing his stories, and of course Robert and mine are very similar. But one thing that transcends through the years that makes this place special is not the brick and the mortar. It's the charming island, but more importantly, it's the charming people. It's all of you, day in, day out, that has made this resort and have given this resort the name and the face that it has. So 25 years is very inspirational. You all play such a big role. You're leaders to everyone else who works in this resort as well.
General Manager of the resort, Edward Gannon, noted that the uniqueness of the resort is the people.
Over the 25 years that we've been here, that you've been here, delivering that great service, I know that in each one of your minds and in each one of your hearts, you can see almost all of those guests passing through, because you remember everybody all the time, no matter how long it's been since the last stay. And that's really what makes this resort special. You know, this resort is beautiful. The island is beautiful. There were coconut groves here. There was beautiful farmland. We have a wonderful stretch of beach here. But the resort was built, and then it was just a building. And then you all came on and began to make it come alive. And when you made it come alive, you brought life to this resort and excitement to this resort like no other in the Caribbean.
Prayer and blessings were done by Pastor Theophilus Kelly and Mrs. Kelly. There was also a cultural presentation by the Rollins Masquerade and remarks by former Executive Vice President of Finance and Vice Chairman Roger Garland. In related news, we spoke with 3 of the employees who have been at the hotel for its 25 years of operations. All of the employees we spoke with had very positive experiences and are excited to be at the hotel to mark the milestone. Faye Walters has the distinction of being the first employee associated with the hotel.
I started from a pre-opening office, which was just a little office with just 2 persons, just a typewriter, no computers, just accepting people for interviews, filling out applications, and then we opened in 91. Computers were then introduced. So that was a new challenge. Never learned computer before, and it started out a little rough, but as we know, you learn every day. It was pretty interesting going through the various stages, learning the different jobs that I did, which would number to maybe 5 different things, going from coordinator to assistant manager to a manager, and just simply starting out as an office assistant.
Crescentia O'Flaherty now holds the position of executive assistant to both the general manager and resort manager at the hotel.
I've been working at the hotel for the past 25 years, and it has been a wonderful experience, and it has really enriched my life professionally. And what really I'm really happy about is that the interaction with the guests and working along with some great employees on a daily basis to bring the hotel to this stage.
Director of Recreation for the hotel, Mackie France, says he would not trade the experience at the hotel and would do it over again if he were given the opportunity.
I must say that personally and professionally I've developed so much, and I'm just very thankful for the opportunities I got and for the things I've learned and experiences I've garnered over the years. We have a very low rate of turnover, I would say between 3 and 5%. People love it, and when you work for a place like the Four Seasons, there's no else really where you want to go. The benefits are better, the training, the exposure, the experiences are so much more rewarding. People tend to stay and not move. So it could be a good thing, it could also be a bad thing, because turnover is good in the sense that you have a chance to replace those employees, get fresh eyes. At the same time, if you have loyal employees that stick with you, turnover is a bad thing. So it depends.
The general manager in his remarks also recognized an employee, Robert Scott, who unfortunately passed recently. Scott spent most of his years in golf maintenance. A bench bearing his name will be placed on the golf course, a gesture that was met with thunderous applause by all attending the ceremony.